Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video on Age of Z Origins, in which we are going to take a look at something very special because it's not going to allow you to play against players, but rather against yourself to beat your own best score. Because this game, or specifically this city and every single city, so you're going to get it in yours as well, is featuring what we call the tower defense post. From there, you have two possibilities, the classic and the infinite zombies. It's basically two game modes that are going to compete against each other, the classic being the normal one, and the infinite zombie being the one that you have infinite waves of zombies, but you're gonna understand exactly what we mean by that. Basically, you have different stages and you can win precious rewards. And what is really interesting about those is that first, the difficulty is going to be increased a little bit after each level, but most specifically, it's a whole tower defense mode that is definitely worth taking a look at. When you click on a level, you will see different kind of informations that are quite useful even before entering the game mode. Basically, the first line are the zombies you are about to encounter, with the big one, the one highlighted, being the big boss of the wave. Obviously, when you see that, you need to take into consideration the fact that they don't have any statistics, which means that you are forced to play against them one time to really know what they are capable of. Are they going to be fast? Are they going to hit hard? Would you rather play with lasers than machine gun against some of them? Maybe that you need machine guns and not lasers against some others, etc, etc. The second line are the different buildings you are going to be able to acquire. Obviously, it's a tower defense mode, which means that you need to defend using towers. And you have three types of towers in this game overall. The first one being the machine gun, the second one the missile launcher, the third one is some kind of parabola that will slow down your opponents, and the last one being the laser. Every single one of those have a different impact on the battlefield that we're going to talk about later on during this video. And to finish off, the star rating rewards, basically the rewards you're going to acquire depending on what kind of build you go for, and depending on if yes or no your building got attacked many times or never by the zombies. When you select a level, you will have a choice between multiple types of builds. So as I mentioned, the 4-1 we talked about previously. What you want to do is, when you have intersections like that, at least place one little parabola that will allow you to slow down the opponents. Personally, I like to go for 2 of them because in my opinion, this is what works the best. On top of that, when you go straight for fight, because you have the possibility of increasing the speed of the overall fight and also breaking it down, you can increase their ability and therefore they're going to slow down the enemies even more slowly. Now you gotta keep in mind one thing, not all the enemies are good against the type of build you are gonna make, which means that you need to test different tactics. It can be a little bit bothering at the beginning for the simple fact that all of those freaking zombies can't get hold. Usually and literally when you first start, you are gonna get crushed. Not necessarily the first level, obviously, but let's say it's probably going to take you 1 or 2 games in a row to clearly understand what you're doing and what you are supposed to do with those builds. Of course, you have the possibility of increasing their abilities, and when you play correctly and when you start knowing what you're doing, well, you get the star. But as you see it like that, I did not get too far in this game mode because I suck. Let's be fair, you gotta admit when you're bad, and I'm literally bad at this. Yes, I got third stars in many of those, but for the latest one, for example level 12, I'm really struggling. And to be fair, it's only skill based, because obviously when you learn how to place correctly the different types of builds that you can build, well, you should get third star already. And this is why today, instead of seeing me playing, we're gonna take a look at someone that really knows what he's doing. Basically, this is the world record for the infinite zombie game mode, which is the exact same one as the one I showed you, but without the levels, which means that the more waves of zombies you can handle, the bigger the reward you are gonna get. And when you take a look at what this guy is doing, I can tell you that it's going to be quite impressive. you see that he's using the exact same tactic as me. For the intersections, he's going for something to slow down the zombies. And for the rest, he seems like he's using lasers only, or at least many lasers, because I see that he's still using some stuff like AoE damage with the missile launcher. Now, of course, the main difference between this guy and me is that he paid for one or two things that allows him to have some buffs. Buffs on damage, buffs on heal, buffs overall. And obviously, when you have buffs, you just do better than the vast majority of players. But it doesn't make it less impressive because of how crazy he's gonna get. Basically, the buffs you are seeing every waves is something totally free, something that you can unlock just because you finish the wave. And if you use them wisely, you could be able to do some great stuff. Because if we speed that up a little bit and taking a look at what happens after the level 8 wave, you see that it clearly makes you feel like my previous game was totally bad. Just take a look at that. Even if you see already the pattern of the zombies, this guy is just knowing what he's doing. I don't know how many times he had to repeat this exact tactic, because obviously it takes skill. I mean, if you just do the exact same thing as what he's currently doing, you should have the exact same results, because the waves in zombies are not necessarily changing too much. But at the same time, it's quite impressive to think that someone stand on his desk, waited for hours, tested many different tactics in order to get to this level of perfection, where he can hold to more than 10 waves of zombies in a row. Usually it doesn't happen, and most of the time what changes is the buffs. The buffs are going to be random when you acquire them after each wave, which means that if you are using the wrong one, you have more chances of losing than the guy we're currently seeing. And basically, he's holding a world record. I remember when I played Infinite Zombie, I feel like my record was something like 3.5 thousand, something like that, which is roughly equal to maybe level 3 or something like that. This guy is already at level 10, and it's just gonna climb. Because when you start to become really good at this game, you can hope to get to level 15 wave. And to get to level 15, good luck. Good luck, because not only is it gonna take you more than 10 minutes, at the same time, if you don't have buffs on pretty much every single one of your towers and everything, it's impossible to get to the top. And of course, you're probably asking, okay, if I do this, well, I'm kind of happy because the tower defense mode is always something fun to play with. But what about the rewards? Because you could expect some gorgeous rewards, something broken. And well, even if it's not broken, you're gonna get access to those points or coins, TD coins. And those coins really give you something quite juicy. Because when you go to the exchange store, you see that you have many components to choose from, some of them being epic. And trust me, the epic is what you are seeking. Specifically, the blueprint chest S, type S tier, call it whatever you want, which is a word to say super. And trust me, super items are definitely super in this game. Because once you get some S tier type of materials, you can use them in the elite equipment facility. It's not something that you will unlock straight at the beginning of the game, but when you get into it, you will see that you have the choice between many different types of equipments that will definitely affect your troops, but also your city. For example, if I take my personal city, you see that my total equipment power is equal to 17,000, which is not that much because I still don't have enough components to get them to level 2, 3, 4, etc. But I still get some rare equipments like this one that is giving me melee attack 3.3% offense and mid-range attack multiplied by 3.3%. So it's definitely something that you need to acquire. It's gonna take time, I'm not gonna lie, it's really taking times, but if you get good into this game mode, the tower defense and specifically the infinite zombie, following the pattern of the guy I just showed you, I can guarantee you that you'll get them in no time. And when you see that some people have more than 200 million points, I can guarantee you that if you want to stand your ground against people like that, you will need absolutely to get the equipment to legendary at minimum. But that's a problem for another day, because I just wanted to highlight to you how you can get a lot of TD coins and therefore multiply your gains using just what I found on YouTube, because YouTube is a great way for you to access to success and many other things. And well, if you just follow the pattern I showed you, you should be able to get everything needed. So hopefully you enjoyed. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And don't forget to use my code just in case you download the game in order for you to get access to a $60 gift. See ya.